4040. What are the fuel requirements for a night IF or flight in a helicopter when an alternate airport is not required? A. Enough fuel to complete the flight to the first airport of intended landing and fly after that for 30 minutes. B. Enough fuel to complete the flight to the first airport of intended landing and fly thereafter for 45 minutes at cruising speed. C. Enough fuel to complete the flight to the first airport of intended landing, make an approach, and fly thereafter for 45 minutes at cruising speed. The correct answer is A. When an alternate airport is not required for a night IF or flight in a helicopter, the fuel requirements include having enough fuel to complete the flight to the first airport of intended landing and then fly for an additional 30 minutes. This ensures that there is an adequate fuel reserve for any unexpected delays or diversions that may occur during the flight. 4041. When an alternate airport is required for helicopters on the flight plan, you must have sufficient fuel to complete the flight to the first airport of intended landing, fly to the alternate, and thereafter fly for at least A. 30 minutes at normal cruising speed. B. 45 minutes at holding speed. C. 45 minutes at normal cruising speed. The correct answer is A. No one is allowed to fly a civil helicopter under IF or conditions unless it is equipped with enough fuel to 1. Complete the flight to the first airport of intended landing, 2. Fly from that airport to the alternate airport, and 3. Fly for 30 minutes at normal cruising speed after that. 4084-1. For helicopters, what minimum weather conditions must be forecast for your ETA at an alternate airport that has only a VOR approach with standard alternate minimums for the airport to be listed as an alternate on the IF or flight plan? A. Ceiling 200 feet above the minimums for the approach to be flown and 1 SM visibility, but not less than the minimum visibility for the approach to be flown. B. 800-foot ceiling and D2 SM visibility. C. 800-foot ceiling and 1 SM visibility. The correct answer is A. For helicopters, when listing an alternate airport on an IF or flight plan that has only a VOR approach with standard alternate minimums, the forecasted weather conditions at your ETA must meet the criteria of having a ceiling 200 feet above the minimums for the approach to be flown and 1 SM visibility. However, these conditions should not be less than the minimum visibility required for the specific approach to be flown. This ensures that there is sufficient visibility and ceiling to safely conduct the approach and landing at the alternate airport. 4084-2. When 14 CF or Part 97 prescribes a standard IAP for the destination airport, under what conditions are you not required to list an alternate airport on an IF or flight plan for an IF or flight in a helicopter? A. When the weather reports or forecasts indicate the ceiling and visibility will be at least 2,000 feet and 3 miles for T-hour before to T-hour after your ETA at the destination airport. B. When the ceiling is forecast to be at least 1,000 feet above the lowest of the MEA, MOCA, or initial approach altitude within 2 hours of your ETA at the destination airport. C. At your ETA and for 1 hour after your ETA, the ceiling is forecast to be at least 1,000 feet above the field elevation, or at least 400 feet above the lowest applicable approach minima, whichever is higher, and visibility of at least 2 statute miles. The correct answer is C. As per 14 CF or Part 97 regulations, if a standard IAP is prescribed for the destination airport, there are conditions under which listing an alternate airport on an IF or flight plan for a helicopter is not required. Option B states that if the ceiling, cloud base, is forecasted to be at least 1,000 feet above the lowest of the MEA, minimum en route altitude, MOCA, minimum obstruction clearance altitude, or initial approach altitude within 2 hours of your estimated time of arrival, ETA, at the destination airport, then you are not required to list an alternate airport. This condition ensures that there is sufficient vertical separation between the cloud base and the minimum altitudes necessary for safe navigation in the helicopter. If the forecasted ceiling meets this requirement, indicating favorable weather conditions for the approach and landing, an alternate airport is not necessary. Bottom of Form 4407. When may ATC request a detailed report of an emergency, even though a rule has not been violated? A. When priority has been given. B. Any time an emergency occurs. C. When the emergency occurs in controlled airspace. The correct answer is B. ATC may request a detailed report of an emergency whenever it occurs, even if no specific rule has been violated. The primary concern of ATC is the safety of the aircraft and the individuals on board. When an emergency situation arises, ATC needs to gather information about the nature of the emergency, the current condition of the aircraft, and any assistance that may be required. This allows ATC to provide appropriate support and coordinate necessary resources to ensure the safety and efficient handling of the emergency. Therefore, ATC can request a detailed report whenever an emergency occurs, regardless of whether a rule has been violated.